can I level with you? I've never made a power scaling video or scripted a video before, so if this is rough, you were warned. But like and subscribe anyway, because my life's pretty sad. Here's a question no one's ever seriously asked, at least for a video. Who would win in a fight? Sigma from Mega Man or Asimov from Gunvolt? On paper, these two don't really have much in common, but they're made by similar people. And that's about it. The games are kinda similar, they inspired each other. They both got their shit rocked by some blonde kid. You know, the usual stuff. Also, I saw this on Discord nearly a year ago and decided, you know what, this is a good excuse to rip off Sector Program. So here we go, who would win? The bold father of the next-gen Reploids, or the brain-damaged alcoholic that apparently likes niggas? We're gonna go over their average stats, how strong they are highballed, comp versions, and also minor details about their backstories and stuff, so here we go. Starting with Sigma. Okay, this first bit about Sigma is a little vague, but we are going to come back to it. Sigma, even back in X1, scales above X, who is stronger than classic Mega Man. So we'll start there, but then again, who is Sigma? Sigma is the first victim of the robot destruction virus, and is armed with a beam saber and a bald head. So naturally, he's the leader of the rogue group of Reploids known as Mavericks. And keep in mind, if X is stronger than classic Mega Man, even back in X1, we need to start with classic Mega Man. And this is below the even lowest possible low bolt for Sigma. And classic Mega Man can dodge lightning, fight at FTL speeds, and scales to Sunstar, who can blow up the Wily Star, which is calculated to be about 7 trillion tons of TNT when it comes to attack power. And guess what? X, as a minimum, scales above this in X1. And Sigma's way more powerful than X. You got no idea. The gap's insane. Also, Sigma's body is only a shell, he's actually a virus. And we're going to talk about how Sigma's a virus, and all his other bodies and stuff when we get to haxs, and transformations. And you can tell I've never made a scripted video before. Now, Asimov is a little tricky, because he doesn't really get anything other than scaling to other characters. And we don't really know what most of the characters in Gunvolt can really do at their peak. So, in his base form, he's multi-continental. We're gonna come back to this. But first off, we need to have a classic Mega Man equivalent here. And we're gonna use Zed from Gunvolt 3. So, if we say that Asimov really does have the peak of the Azure Striker, like he says in Luminous Avenger X1, but is weaker than Gunvolt, then he's stronger than Zed. Zed, he's a nuke. That's what his powers are. He literally generates nuclear fission and just has sun power. That's literally his entire thing. And Zed can't destroy a planet, so Asimov somewhere in between Gunvolt and Zed. So multi-continental. But here's the thing, even using Gunvolt 1 scaling, he's multi-continental due to scaling to a Gunvolt who's enraged, confused with the Muse, and his base is stronger than Nova, who scales above most of the non-final boss characters in this series, and there's light speed feats and all that stuff. But then again, there's Septimal Surge, which is honestly his only chance of winning this, because you got multi-continental durability and attack power and base. He's barely light speed due to scaling to Gunvolt, Nova, and all those guys. And I'll put more characters on screen that have certain feats. Which leaves us with one conclusion. We have no fucking clue how powerful he is in Luminous Avenger X, other than he isn't planetary. So we're just gonna put him as just shy of planetary for now. And now we're gonna talk about haxs and septimal surge and all of Sigma's other bodies. Haxs and transformations, which got lumped together because I can't fucking structure a video. Which basically, we're just going slightly more detail into feats and covering transformations and certain abilities that characters have. So both Sigma and Asimov have some hacks that will prove useful in a fight like this. Sigma, despite being a bold man, got turned into a virus, can move between bodies. There's 8 main ones. And so far, we've been using the one from Mega Man X1. The first Mega Man X game. I think you see the problem here, but despite that fact, I did mention Zero earlier, and we're going to cover him in a second. Actually, that second's right now. Sigma in the later X games, and even the early ones, scales to X and Zero, who are both massively faster than light, and using the classic Mega Man scale, can reach as high as average solar system. Yeah, that's a pretty big jump from planetary. Sigma has other abilities. He can resurrect other Reploids, mainly small fry. He can teleport, he can grab force fields, he can fly, and you can see this in every single boss fight throughout the entire Mega Man X series, and even in other appearances like Marvel vs. Capcom, and all of those. And Sigma can switch between many different bodies due to his virus-based form, some of which are more powerful than others. Like his Mega Man X3 Ultimate body, his Reaper form on X4, or even Hell Sigma. Who's fucking Hell Sigma, and in X8 he is literally Skeleton Satan. I don't need to explain how that works. They never explain it themselves. But anyway, how does Asimov stack up to all of this? Okay, so Azo here, right? His combat speed is shown to be FDL plus, with FDL plus reaction. So he can keep up with Gunvolt in his base form, who scales to Viper, who's stated by Joda to be able to fight at light speed. His actual travel speed
is relativistic.
I'm about saying that word like 9 fucking times. I can't make it work. Okay, cool. Like his Nod son, he has the ability of Pervasion, which basically allows him to phase through attacks, except his doesn't have as much limit as Gunvolt's. We're not shown how many times he can be active. He can still overheat, but very clearly works differently, and it basically just transforms you into electricity, renders you kinda invincible unless you get splashed with some water. So, you know, fun. Also, he mugged a man, a white man actually, for his gun, which he can fire charge shots with in later games. And sometimes, this guy just throws knives at people. He just throws knives at them. I'm not even joking. And there's one more hack we need to get to before his signature weapon, and that's his electronic manipulation. It's a very vital ability that he has, and it's the only reason this is a fight. Like we consistently see them fry electronics, make them move as they will. It's stuff we see Gunvolt do and thus Asimov can do. But now we get to the best part. The sniper! Basically, he can shoot electricity out of this sniper and use all the darts that Gunvolt is shown to be able to use. And it's pretty powerful. He's like taking down massive mechs with it in one shot, it's crazy. And allows him to deal all kinds of damage he can't deal without his septimal surge, which we're about to get into because it's his trump card here. The septimal surge technique basically doubles an Azure Striker's power, but they'll burn out pretty easily. And keep in mind, he's got tons of really weird attacks like Voltic Chains, a bunch of swords, some suplexes, his sniper, his electronic manipulation. He can heal extra quickly because of his electricity. It like stabilizes the current. I'm not good at reading scripts, as you can tell. But in Luminous Avenger X, he has access to mass holograms, which are holograms with mass. He can just like drop 4 on someone and kill them. It's pretty weird. Frankly, both of these games are really vague, but Asimov's got even less. So, quick rundown. He shoots things. He zaps things. He throws sword at things. He has chains. He can double his own power. He can manipulate electronics, like he can make elevators move up and down, and he can fry their shit and all that stuff. He can manipulate his own electronic current to make himself heal quicker, and he can phase through most attacks. That's great. Also, he fights at light speed. That's also great. So, who wins here? That is what we're here to answer, after all. And keep in mind, we're just going to start small here. And I'm just going to get real. Asimov isn't fast enough to even touch Sigma and land a tag on him. If he landed a tag on Sigma, he could just deactivate him. But Sigma's a virus, he can just switch to another body. And Asimov isn't really strong enough to take out the whole solar system level strength and durability thing. There's a way to get Asimov to almost planet level, and that's by comparing him to other characters. If he really does have the height of the Azure Striker, if he's second to Gunvolt, you can get him to just shy of planetary with septimal surge. But like, damn bro, like, that's just not... Unless Sigma's monologuing and he just shoots him while Sigma's got his eyes closed or something, like mid-blink, does Sigma even need to blink? I have no fucking idea. How does he win here? So what we're going to do is we're going to have Comp Asimov go up against X1 Sigma. That's the circumstance we're going to play with here. Sigma has one body, plus a wall, with his head in it. Asimov has everything other than his holograms. Who wins? It's a way closer fight than Comp or X8 Sigma. So... yeah, I don't know if you've been paying attention, man, but like, solar system's a massive fucking jump than planet. Asimov's control over electronics and pervasion is very clearly his only chance here. You heard that classic Mega Man beat earlier. But he can still win here mainly because of his haxs and septimal surge. Depending on when he uses his multi-continental ×2 level power, that could get him to planet level. Who knows? Which at most is about reaching the peak of the yeah, you can maybe get him to planet level. Maybe. If you use the classic Mega Man model, many of his planet feats, Asimov's haxs, he can pull it off. But if you went for a game by game, X4 and 5 would wall him. Just solar system as an average, walls planet as a wank. I get that's kinda surprising, but still. The winner is Sigma. Unless you use early Sigma, then Asimov with a bit of wanking can snag a win. But Sigma has a vast amount of experience, and I just bit my own tongue. While Asimov is a jar, or in his early 20s. So early Sigma versus Asimov is a natural conversation we can have. But all up, Sigma would win. even though the two of them would just monologue at each other about their backstories for 20 fucking years. So let's try to get Diet Sephiroth a win here. Besides, they're both pretty vague. I've been pretty vague on both of them. Because, you know, I'm not good at this. You know, first time and everything. So is there anything else we can do for Azo here? Well, a Gunvolt, way weaker than Comp Asimov, scales to Beck, who's powerful enough to make an anime fan cry on prom night. Yeah, Asimov's not winning this. Listen, other than Gunvolt for a Gunvolt, maybe X2 Copen and the final boss from that game, multi-continent level is the peak for the series. Mega Man, on the other hand, using crossover scaling for Sigma, he scales to, but is inferior to Star Force, Mega Man, and EXE, who are way faster than Asimov and range from solar system to low multiverse, depending on the form and ignoring plot holes and all that shit. Having that kind of gap on fucking Shovel Knight isn't saving Asimov here. Because Gunvolt wasn't Blade Strangers with him, and it was the Gunvolt 2 version. That's dumb. I do actually have in the script some vague scaling here. Basically, if you use Blade Strangers, you can put Asimov on Universal, but if you give the same shit to Sigma, he's relative to Ultron. Fucking Ultron from Marvel Comics. Do you know the shit that guy can do? So, unless you're using X1 Sigma, Sigma wins. And I'm sorry I can't structure this video correctly. But, if you like the idea here, discuss it more in the comments, or maybe just make your own video. Because I'm probably just gonna stick to gaming. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you eventually. I don't know when that is. This has been really tiring. I've had the idea to make this video for about 6 months, and I spent 3 weeks actually writing stuff down. And I've only spent 4 or 5 days actually trying to, like, record the audio. This has been really hard. I need more experience. I'm probably gonna redo this at some point in the future. So, yeah. You know. Also, all the audio's recorded actual days apart. I wonder how that's gonna sound.